Ayurveda doesn't treat the disease. It helps the individual overcome the disease. And
see.
every individual is different. Life gives you infinite opportunities to correct your.
Hello everyone, namaste. Welcome to ZindageeKaTadka. Today we have come with Sreejith. Sreejith, welcome.
Nice.
It's a great pleasure to
Yes.
have you with us. What is Ayurveda all about?
We have made that classical Ayurveda, the essence of classical Ayurveda, relevant for the modern audience.
I
So we built protocols on top of it, scalable, replicable model on top of it. And at the end of it, what we could bring in is a very standardized set of care for multiple non-communicable diseases through a hospital model, insurance approved and inpatient cashless care.
But in today's world, generally the thought about Ayurveda is like it is very slow and, people would, if there is fever, I just take a dolo and then it fixes. But Ayurveda is considered that, so is it relevant in today's modern world?
You can always look at the data. WHO has published the data saying that 74% of the deaths globally happen due to non-communicable diseases, right? So it's not like people die of accident or anything. It's a culmination of multiple comorbidities, non-communicable diseases that eventually lead to one's condition being debilitating, right? WHO and everybody is now talking about health and well-being for all. Absence of a disease doesn't mean that you are healthy. 50% plus of our patients come with multiple comorbidities, which means that the people don't come with one disease these days. They come with a cluster of diseases. Let's take fever as a use case. So people feel that, okay, I'll pop a dolo and the fever is kind of gone, right? But what Ayurveda tries to do is that Ayurveda takes a step back and figure out why that fever has come. Fever is a symptom, right? An elevated temperature, whatever you may call it. Why it has happened? It could be due to multiple reasons. It could even be because your stomach is not all right, right? Somebody with a kind of a GERD, all those kind of things can also get fever. So it tries to figure out and fix that consequently. So it kind of looks at the root cause of it and starts giving the solution. So it consequently gives you long-lasting solution. Ayurveda doesn't treat the disease. It actually treats the individual having the disease. So therefore, it has to be individualized. It has to be personalized. So the moment you are able to give that personalized solution, then naturally the solutions get faster. People also need to have very realistic in terms of their expectations. Somebody with a high diabetes cannot come and say that, let me pop a pill and I should be all right. A lot of people are now talking about holistic care for diabetes, right? Your diet needs to be fixed, your lifestyle needs to be fixed, and it's a journey that people need to talk about. There is no magic pill in any system of medicine that can give you solution overnight.
Yeah. Slow process is one of the pushbacks generally people have for Ayurveda. What other things have you seen in your experience? Like people run away from Ayurveda?
First of all, the acceptance of Ayurveda is super high now. It's going up every year, and post-COVID, there is a very great impetus that has come all the more dear for Ayurveda. And thanks to the ministry and multiple people at the top, there is a relevance that is coming for Ayurveda and Ayush as a system. Ayurveda is a system of not only medicine, it's more of a healthcare system, right? So any solution in Ayurveda entails diet, lifestyle, medicine, therapy, as well as mental well-being. Ahara, Vihara, Aushadha, Kriyakrama and Vichara. So something what is not in line with your beliefs, right? People think, okay, I need to pop a pill, I need to kind of go for a surgery. And there's something beyond this, right? I need to fix my food habits. I need to go through some cleansing therapy. Suddenly something which comes, which is not intuitively relatable for them, come with preconceived notion that Ayurveda is not for only for wellness, or Ayurveda is only for preventive care. Whereas the curative functions of Ayurveda is well documented, and there are good amount of evidence across centuries about people getting outcomes, right? So that's again comes and plays in people's mind. Last but not the least, there have also been people come with different experiences, right? I mean, some people say it's natural, therefore it's always healthy. These are all beliefs. I mean, Ayurveda never says that you have to take medicines throughout your life. Anything you take in excess can create imbalance in your body. So it's not like Ayurveda medicines don't have side effects. And people think Ayurveda is cheap, for example.
You talked about these ahara, vihara. Can you say a few words about like what exactly are these things?
The doctor is supposed to do a thorough assessment of the patient. Darshana, Sparshana, Prashna it's called. So patient will be observed very critically. Critical questions are asked, touch, and all these kind of things through which the doctor is trying to identify what are the kind of symptoms that you are showing, what are the kind of imbalances, right? In Ayurveda, we also look at modern biomarkers, parameters to get an accurate sense and history of past illness, current medication that you're going through. It looks at your current lifestyle, what is a typical lifestyle, when do you sleep, when do you wake up, all those kind of questions are first of all asked. You will come to saying that these are the problems that the patient is having.
Okay.
And also the doctor is supposed to understand the way the disease has progressed. People do it in 20 to 30 minutes. They'll get a complete
Acha.
health picture of the individual, right?
Oh, okay.
So that's the first part of it. So pratyaksham, right? And to arrive at it, one is of course the observations which I said, and then the doctor has to make logical interpretations, anumanam, right? And then they also have to refer to classical textbook or whatever thing to have reference to understand what exactly is underlying logic or what does Ayurveda textbook say. And then the person has to apply his or her, bring all of them together to arrive at a solution.
Okay.
So when it goes through this kind of a rigorous approach, right, and then you are trying to suggest saying that, okay, you need to give a solution for the individual. So the doctor has 5 things in his hand, right? One is the doctor can say that, okay, the imbalance is due to the changes in diet that the person has gone through, right? The diet is not appropriate for the individual, diet is not appropriate for the season or the place the person is in.
Oh.
Like if it's a winter and you're having diet which is food that is not appropriate, so you try to kind of correct your diet.
Okay.
Then the person says that, okay, your lifestyle is not appropriate. You tend to take food, heavy dinner too late in the night and you just sleep off, which is not good, right? So those kind of things, and then they try to correct your lifestyle, right? That is called vihara, right?
Okay.
You don't do enough exercise, you don't
So
walk
ahara
enough.
is food and
Vihara
vihara is
is your
lifestyle.
lifestyle. Aushadha is your medicines. The moment the imbalance needs a medical intervention, then the medicine starting to come to.
So not always the medicine
No.
is the first step.
No.
You have to fix your ahara.
No,
and
I mean,
vihara.
the doctor will arrive at it collectively, right?
I see.
And then there is Kriya Krama. Kriya Krama is therapeutic interventions, right? Panchakarma, Purva Karma, Panchakarma, Paschat Karma, multiple Kriyas that needs to be done. And Vichara, right? How do you kind of correct your mind? Because Ayurveda also talk about mind being that body. It's about, when I said it's a balance, right? Everything is connected. Your sleep is disrupted. Then more often than not, you wake up with a. You're not fresh when you wake up. Your mood may not be right, and your diet may not be good. Your motion may be disrupted. Everything is connected as per Ayurveda, and mind-body connection and soul connection is very well documented. So all those things needs to be corrected. So doctor's duty is to take up all these 4-5 elements and come with whatever is appropriate.
But it still somewhere sounds like, if you have some kind of a chronic disease, or if you have something like comorbidities or some big diseases like diabetes, etc., then maybe we should try this. But if I need something very quick fix, for example, as we talked about a fever or a runny nose, are there solutions which are there कि मेरे को जुकाम हुआ है तो वो 1 दिन में 2 दिन में उसको ठीक करेगा?
Absolutely, that is what I'm saying. So the cardinal rule there is that a lot of people tend to go into self-medication. That doesn't work, right? I mean, if you're not well, you need to go to a qualified physician. That is where that slowness sometimes comes. No, we always hear that, if your immunity is not good, Chanaprash khao, right? I mean, Chanaprash is not good for everybody, because the vulnerability for individuals vary from different systems, right? I mean, somebody is having vulnerability at the gut, somebody is having vulnerability in the respiratory system. So you need to actually understand where the vulnerability is and therefore provide solution. Otherwise, you'll keep having Chanaprash and we'll have a hope that it will give you the immunity that is required. Please understand that Ayurveda doesn't treat the disease. It helps the individual overcome the disease. And every individual is different. It's not like my composition is same as yours, right? I mean, both of us will have different prakritis, different vikriti lakshanas. So everything is different. So that is the ultimate thing of it's like a hyper personalized, or it's like a super personalized solution that Ayurveda brings in.
किसी भी बीमारी के लिए जा सकते हैं, या कोई स्पेसिफिक टाइप की बीमारी है तो it is helpful, या it is like a holistic?
सारे systems को अपना limitations होता है. We have built protocols for more than 200 conditions, right? Most non-communicable diseases. We don't normally tackle patients who are in an emergency stage. We are clearly aware of जिधर modern medicine का advantages है. We also are pioneers of something called integrative care, where what we do is that we try to bring in the best of multiple systems in the best interest of the patient. तो कभी-कभी क्या होता है कि we have patients जो surgery के बाद, वो they get into a phase of rehabilitation. जब rehabilitation start होता है, काफी सारे चीज Ayurveda can also help. For instance, लोगों के inflammation होगा, you want to reduce inflammation in the body. Circadian rhythm अब तक हुआ नहीं है, लोग सोते नहीं है, खाता नहीं है बराबर. The moment उसके लिए Ayurveda can work hand in hand with modern medicine.
So another thing which comes to mind is like Ayurveda comes from like Vedic times and all. Maybe there are certain new type of diseases जो पहले शायद नहीं ऑब्जर्व की जाती थी, तो उनके लिए भी क्या सॉल्यूशंस होते हैं आयुर्वेद में या कैसे? जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल कैंसर के लिए कीमोथेरेपी अगर कुछ है तो वो डायरेक्ट जाके कुछ सेल्स को अटैक कर रही है, या मान लीजिए सर्जरी वगैरह है, कि इसके लिए आयुर्वेद के पास क्या आंसर होता है?
Difficult question, right? I mean, cancer, etc., right? I mean, if the patient is indicated for chemotherapy and if एक system में already कर रहे हैं, then we always should look at that to be continued. When you look at a patient and try to understand कि patient का क्या
बेसिक फंडामेंटल्स
में क्या है, तो इसलिए when I take a step back and start looking at it, तभी trained Ayurveda physician को पता होता है कि you know how exactly to tackle क्या imbalance है body में. इसलिए for COVID, you know, we did a COVID care center in Bangalore, right? Udhar bhi we did a clinical trial sponsored by ministry, right? How do you improve the immunity towards COVID, right? So therefore there is a place and relevance for every care.
You don't find ये आयुर्वेद वाले डॉक्टर जो कि मतलब knowledgeable भी हैं, again many quacks will be there, and then how do you know which one is good or which one is not so good?
So that's something which it's our vision also. We are working to mainstream Ayurveda. We spoke at length about that awareness. People don't know what Ayurveda can do and what Ayurveda cannot do. For awareness building, we spend a lot of time ताकि people start having that top of mind recall, right? That is when it has to be a choice of care for certain conditions.
So that is on the demand side.
On the demand side. On the supply side, हम क्या बोलते हैं कि एक बार डिमांड आ गया तो सप्लाई के लिए भी डॉक्टर्स होना चाहिए, राइट? सो दैट इज व्हाई वी pioneered this concept of protocols ताकि there is standardized care. All our centers we follow a particular approach जिसपे the patient is taken through a very very structured questionnaire. Every decision that the person takes is based on either observation, evidence, clinical evidence, or whatever you may call it, right? I mean, diagnosis कर दिया. So we call it as precision Ayurveda. So Ayurveda is pioneer of precision Ayurveda. So our endeavor is that all these things can be solved. India has 400,000 Ayurveda practitioners as we speak, right? So
are there good colleges also teaching
yes,
this?
There are very reputed good colleges across the country. All India Institute of Ayurveda is there definitely in Delhi. Kerala has a lot of 100 plus years old Ayurveda thing. It's all NEET based entrance, right? NEET में ही लोग आते हैं and they get to see a lot of patients on day to day basis. So उनका patient command भी अच्छा है. So it's very important to acknowledge that there is quality people coming in, intelligent young people are coming into Ayurveda. So there is a good movement that is coming in.
And is it a lucrative enough job for a professional?
Obviously, with years of experience, वो lucrative होता है. Like any doctors, India में भी modern medicine became very very high growth when insurance came into the picture. When people started going through, started taking health insurance. So again, government has taken a very positive step of bringing Ayush into the insurance regime. So we give insurance approved Ayurveda care. That's also another piece that will solve the riddle. तो उसके कारण भी people will start adopting more and more Ayurveda care.
Usually I've seen like many of these allopathy doctors and all, they keep attending so many conferences to get updated with what is new happening in the medical world. Is there something similar that happens in the Ayurveda world also? Or?
Absolutely. We attend multiple conferences. There are multiple integrative things that are going globally, right? Integrative oncology is a big space because globally people are recognizing that, you know, to solve many of these conditions, there is goodness in multiple practices of medicine. जिससे भी हमको we have to learn, right? फायदा मिलना है for the best interest of the patient. So our doctors were in US for the Society of Integrative Oncology, Cancer Moonshot Initiative. So we participate in many of these integrative conferences. Last year in Delhi, we conducted an integrative care conference under the aegis of Apollo hospitals. We publish our case studies, case series. You know, we also are doing multiple clinical trials for evidence building.
Have you seen like it getting picked up nationally as well as internationally?
Absolutely. बहुत सारे जगह पे, right? We got selected in 2020 by European Union in the battle against COVID. How do we improve the immunity? Healthcare as a science also is going broader globally. उसपे there is large scale acceptance globally as well as in India to look beyond one system of medicine.
In today's world of all this tech and AI, medical field is benefiting a lot.
Absolutely.
So is there kind of some kind of a collaboration you have with the tech part of the world also?
Absolutely. हमारे हर पेशेंट का वी कैप्चर अराउंड 1000+ डेटा पॉइंट्स ये सब चीजों में, राइट? हिस्टोरिकली कुछ अदर कोमॉर्बिडिटीज हुआ है क्या, सम एक्सटर्नल कुछ हुआ है क्या? So these are the ways you are trying to identify the root cause. Then they try to draw a disease tree. So the moment you do that, you're talking not about a single variate model. You're talking about a neural network kind of a model, right? That is one use case where Ayurveda needs a kind of a very high level of analytics. A lot of things in Ayurveda is reasoning based. Doctor is asking कि okay, क्यों हुआ है मेटाबोलाइजेशन, कुछ खाने का हुआ, लाइफस्टाइल का, why did that change, why करके कहोगे तो doctor is trying to reason out. So a high level of reasoning and kind of understanding that, which is also relevant for a language model kind of a thing.
Sure, you can model that, yeah.
Model that, Ayurveda doctor never technically ask you how many hours did you sleep. Okay. They will ask you कि did you wake up fresh, क्या हुआ रात को, खाने के बाद तुरंत सो गया क्या, रात को नींद से did you wake up, did you have to pass urine in the night, are you sleeping during the day? वो सब मिल जुला के you are trying to figure out, there are multiple inputs coming in, right? I would say that AIML Ayurveda will benefit and it will leapfrog.
What say a person like me or others should be actually doing, talking about going to the doctors? What should we be doing?
A lot of people as they grow older, fall is a major reason.
Yes.
For injuries and subsequent things.
I've heard that.
That fall happens because it's a combination of your strength, flexibility and mobility. You have to start listening to your body. To spend time to heal your body. It's okay to kind of take days of break and start listening to you. Start figuring out, आप खाते रहोगे, start figuring out, is it giving any signal? Are you feeling gassy? Is your motion not going properly? Is your sleep getting disturbed? Are you getting more stressed? You used to run. People say कि proudly they say मैं बचपन में ये करता था, अभी तो थोड़ा उम्र हो गया, मेरे से नहीं हो पा रहा है. Why can't you do it? You have to do much better as you grow older, right? तो वही है, मतलब you have to start tuning your body, right? I mean वो सब करना पड़ता है life में. So anytime you feel an imbalance in your body, you should go to a physician. Don't do self-medication.
Okay.
Huge set of people, government, I mean ICMR, everybody is saying that self-medication is one of the major reasons. Or don't go to pharmacy and ask for a medicine. Go to a qualified physician, right? You owe to yourself to go to a doctor and take advice.
वो एक्चुअली क्या है ना, ऐसी धारणा बन गई है, माइंडसेट बन गया है कि डॉक्टर तो हमको लूटने के लिए बैठे हैं, या ये हमको कुछ टेस्ट लिख देंगे जो कि अननेसेसरी टेस्ट हैं. Unnecessarily they want to like put us in this whole circle. And maybe there is some truth to that also. It's not that it is entirely fictitious, but maybe we should still trust the doctor.
That's what I'm saying. A few bad apples cannot kind of completely take your trust away from the system, right?
Fair enough.
You have to trust the system. You have to identify that doctor. Build a family physician for yourself.
You have done your engineering from IIT Madras. Then you have done your management from IIM Bangalore. All the top institutes. How has that shaped your thinking today? Because you are now working in a medical type of a field.
So basically, one of the things that IIT does, right? Then I'll come to IIM also, right? I mean, it is very personal. सब अलग लोगों के लिए अलग-अलग use होता है IIT और IIM का. तो जब मैं IIT में घुसा था, right? My rank was not the highest. मेरा rank was 2000. Like I was one of those last people to have gotten into IIT.
Okay.
I came from a small town in Kerala, right? तो उधर तो हर जगह पे I was topper. Then जब IIT में घुसा था, the first thing that helped me was that it became a big leveler for me. First semester में मेरे को I got some 7 point CGPA, and they're like, out of the 800 people, where 500 people were above me.
हाँ, सभी टॉपर है,
सभी टॉपर है. तो फिर उधर ही बैन बच गया. तो फिर I was thinking कि क्या हो रहा है, मतलब. So their first things first was that that whole thing of मैं तो smart hूँ करके, that kind of thing got leveled out in my first semester itself.
Okay.
उसके बाद से one great thing about IIT is that बहुत fundamental सा चीजें सिखाते हैं वो लोग. It is not like a lot of things that we learn are not about, it's not about building knowledge. It's about building an approach which helps you to solve problems.
I see.
Basically, structured first principle thinking बहुत सिखाते हैं IITs. Second is कि that willingness to learn भी काफी थे. IIT जैसे institute में you have at any point of time 4-5 चीजें करते रहते हो बच्चे लोग, right? You will be in sports, you will be organizing some fest. When I was graduating from IIT, we had the Kalfest and Techfest. The budget itself is 1.5-2 crore, right? तो बड़ा बड़ा Kalfest Techfest करते रहते हो, sports में घुसते रहते हो. Then workshops are there, robotics. We hear from some accomplished people how they shape their career. So exposure is heavy. उसके कारण you are able to kind of not hesitation to jump into any problem and trying to solve. Then comes IIM, right? So one of the major thing IIM ने मेरे साथ किया था कि I was very introverted, very a personality जिस पे I was very happy to sit in a corner and if nobody is disturbing I was very happy. So IIM kind of थोड़ा मेरे को खोल दिया उसमें.
Okay.
I am now more comfortable talking to a lot of people. If I have to kind of influence somebody, it has helped me how to influence people. What are the managerial skills that I need to build? How to motivate people? So all those fundamental thinking has been brought to me. So I also could gel well with the people I am working with, be it doctors, be it caregivers, be it the management team that I have, be it patients.
So then would you say कि there is a difference in doing, let's say, an engineering from an IIT versus, let's say, any other college? Because what happens many times I've seen is कि आप जो कॉलेज में सीखते हो ना, वो वाली पढ़ाई एग्जैक्टली जॉब में काम नहीं आती है. एनीवे आपको जॉब में तो सीखना ही है जो आपने करना है. वहां पे मेरे को कंप्यूटर साइंस इंजीनियरिंग में फाइनाइट ऑटोमेटा सिखाया, उसको मैं क्या करूंगा यहाँ पे, या वहां पे कोई मेरे को इलेक्ट्रिक सर्किट बनाना सिखाया या कुछ टेक्सटाइल इंजीनियरिंग में सिखाया. बट मे बी वन थिंग विच यू सेड इज लाइक प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग थोड़ा सा सिखाते हैं. लेकिन इज इट डिफरेंट बिटवीन लेट्स से institute like an IIT versus let's say some kind of a regional college?
Answer is definitely yes. But one thing is important, right? IIT जो भी college आप जाते हो, right? It gives you an infrastructure. IIT also gives you a platform. जो उसमें आप क्या सीखोगे क्या नहीं सीखोगे is completely up to the individual. Any place you go, बहुत सारे चीज आपके ऊपर होता है. आपका जो लर्निंग टाइम, क्लास टाइम हर कॉलेज में 7-8 घंटे के ऊपर नहीं होता, 5-6 घंटे के ऊपर नहीं होता. तो व्हाट डू यू डू द रिमेनिंग 16 hours in life?
आउट ऑफ क्लास लर्निंग में है
वो बहुत होता है. यू टेक एनी मेट्रिक फॉर यू टू डिफाइन सक्सेस. लाइक कुछ लोग बोलते हैं कि पैसा कमाना है सक्सेस होता है, राइट? टेक द रिचेस्ट पीपल इन द वर्ल्ड और इंडिया, राइट? हाउ मेनी ऑफ देम आर आईआईटीएंस, राइट? और लाइक बोलता है कि पैसा वैसा छोड़ दो, खुशी होना चाहिए. लाइक यू शुड बी हैप्पी इन योर लाइफ, right? Take the self-proclaimed gurus or happy people or so-called people. Do a survey among social media and everywhere, right? See how many of them are IITians. That itself will give an answer, right?
In the minds of parents or children and all, there is a lot of struggle और बहुत सारा इसके ऊपर रहता है कि अगर IIT क्लियर नहीं हुआ तो लाइफ बर्बाद हो गई, अभी तो अभी क्या ही कर सकते हैं. Like many people I know even take extreme steps and all.
Correct.
So IITs have that type of aura going around them also.
Correct. तो एक चीज उसमें मैं साफ बोलना चाहता हूँ. आई एम नॉट डिस्काउंटिंग एनीथिंग फ्रॉम IITs, right? IIT-IIMs are a great place to be in, right? Obviously one of the best institutes that the country has produced. But if you don't get into an IIT, is this the end of the world? Is it like हमारा जिंदगी बर्बाद हो गया? Absolutely not. I completely disagree with that, right?
That's easy for you to say, some might
No,
say because you have done it.
नहीं यार, मतलब I did my IIT, like I told you, right? Was I a topper? I could have cried saying that no, I should have been a topper, I should have gone to MIT. There is no end to all these kind of desires. So your desires will never end, right? The people who are in IIT feel कि this is like बहुत, by the way, IITians भी बहुत stress लेते हैं. I mentor a lot of IITians. I also became happier when I stepped out of that rat race, right? I was on that rat race for a long time, right? IIT में घुस गया, फिर IIM गया, फिर I went to a top management consulting in the country, right? Called AT-KNI. तो वो सब एक जर्नी था मेरा. I mean, I'm not saying कि and you can also say that I'm still in that rat race. I'm a CXO and all those things. But I feel that now I'm doing things which a little more purpose, which makes me a little bit more calmer, happier.
And actually, maybe you're in a better position to tell because you have been there.
Correct.
So, in fact, I have another question. You have also lived, number of years in outside India, in Dubai and all, and people say like life is so comfortable there, everything is systematic, this and that. So why did you come back to India?
Like I said, no, I was in that kind of a corporate ladder, having had a good work in consulting firm. You are kind of advising a founder of $6 billion company, Landmark Group, giving a swanky house, overlooking the, beach or whatever, right? A lot of personal things started coming to me, right? My father-in-law was a Parkinson's patient. and my parents are getting older. So all those kind of things started playing out, saying that I need to spend more time with family. Second thing also, I realized that, okay, one thing is, of course, you need to make money, you need to do all those kind of things. Second is to start doing something with a little bit more meaning and purpose. And because of my personal experience of health, me and my family, I started figuring out healthcare mein kuch to fundamentally missing hai. A lot of things, the healthcare system is broken. So that's what ended up putting me into a journey where, you know, beyond making money, started doing something meaningful, mainstreaming Ayurveda kind of a vision, all those kind of
What do you
things.
mean by a meaningful or a purposeful thing, and how does one find that purpose?
A lot of times what happens is that, you know, you tend to do things because कोई और किया है, right? You or you tend to do things because you go with the flow. Yeah, beaten path में जाते रहते, and then you land up somewhere, right? But I think what happens is that, you know, many a time people start figuring out that there is something not right with the path they have chosen, right? When they have certain setbacks, right? For me, it was a personal setback on health and all. When I started realizing is that, you know, making money and having a swanky lifestyle doesn't solve fundamental things of happiness in life, right? For me, happy was being healthy and waking up fresh and all these kind of things that I spoke of, right? And enjoying the moment. आज मैं खुश हूँ कि नहीं, right? I mean, because everybody has a finite life. You may live 75 years, but you might have crossed so many things, thinking कि okay, मेरा happiness उधर है. तो you are perennially dissatisfied. मेरे को 1 करोड़ कमाना है, उसके बाद मैं खुश रहूंगा. बट 1 करोड़ में पहुंच गया तो आपको लगेगा कि 1 करोड़ में कुछ नहीं होता लाइफ में, 5 करोड़ कमाना है. तो वैसे जाते रहोगे तो आपको पता नहीं चलेगा कि आप खुश नहीं हो. So that is the time when I kind of made that switch, saying ki, okay, there is no point in doing this. Then I started figuring out what is that purpose, right? So that's when I started realizing, okay, money may not be my eventual purpose, right? Money may be an outcome of what I'm trying to do, you know. But I needed to say that, you know, if I spend a lot of time learning, trying to do that fundamental problem solving and to fix something fundamentally in life, I need to solve some very, very basic problem, and healthcare was a great thing for me.
But can one say that this all purpose and this meaningful is a rich man's problem? Like once you have figured out all the roti kapda makan and your kids are going to good schools and maybe your parents' hospital care is kind of fixed. Now you are thinking into all this, but other than that, for the masses, they're still striving for the basic necessities. So उनके लिए तो पैसा ही purpose है. Like for example, in foreign countries, no, many people do work only the things that they like to work on, they're passionate, because perhaps the government takes care of the basic necessities there. So is it like a little bit of how we have been as a country so far, because we are still a developing nation?
I don't think it's a rich man's problem. Like, I feel it's more also about contented with what you are and what you are doing. That's why I'm saying being in present is what I would say. So it's not a rich man, poor man problem, to be honest, for me. I feel personally, happiness is about discovering your moment of truth and moment of joy and pursuing it relentlessly.
Maybe the purpose doesn't need to be like a very big sounding thing. It can be like those joys that you find in small things.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I feel. It's about that ability of being contented with what you are and ability to kind of find those joyful moments, happy moments in life. And that happy moments is not tomorrow. That happy moment is today. I also have a lot of neighbors, not trying to be typecasting or not trying to be condescending, right? I feel that, you know, there is no correlation, I mean, between
money and happiness,
right? You are happy when you decide that you have to be happy.
You said you mentor a lot of IITians also right now. What are the top 2-3 advices do you give to them?
It comes like life cycle comes a full circle. It's the same advice that I got when I was as a student. One of the alums told me when I was in IIT is that, you know, these 4 years are your best 4 years, right? Because you're cocooned in a community, right? Residential community, and you have everything inside that. So you have to enjoy every moment there, right?
Okay.
It's not just about studies or anything. The exposure that you get will shape you very fundamentally differently. That wiring hota hai. That is one thing which I take very, very.
So it's not just for IITs, then for any course that you're doing, you enjoy your time there.
Okay? That formative years when you are becoming from a student to a professional, right? You have to enjoy the time.
So define enjoyment. Enjoyment is like just have party
Don't
or
keep-
you learn.
it's anything, right? I mean, don't keep brooding over saying that, मेरे को इधर internship मिला नहीं, मेरे को ये job नहीं मिला, मुझे वो job नहीं मिला, या मुझे ये करना चाहिए summer internship में. Don't get into that rat race trap is one advice that people told, right? Obviously, you need to do things, right? I mean, but then when you ask me a definition of enjoyment, time spending with friends, right? And then doing things. A lot of things, right? Hobby clubs, this, that. Keep doing things, right? Keep learning new things. Be inquisitive. Never drop your learning hat.
It's okay to fail there.
It's okay to fail there.
Lesser judgment, perhaps.
Exactly. I'll tell you, right? I mean, for instance, I had a friend, right? जिसको first year में he did not even know how to play football. By fourth year he was like one of the star footballer. Right? 3 साल में वो सीख लिया football. So ऐसे नहीं है कि मतलब and you can ask that what does it got to do with the whole thing? Did it get land him a job? No, it did not. But what did it land? It landed him with a good bunch of friends.
Yeah.
Who he played football throughout his life. Now we are like 20 years since, 18 years, 19 years since I graduated from IIT. I still know that chap comes to every city, he has a friends with whom he played football with.
Yeah.
Right? This is major learning when I jumped out of the corporate ladder also, right? I mean, is that life is not a 100-meter marathon. Don't burn yourself out. Right? Life is about longevity. And life gives you infinite opportunities to correct your, wherever you think you have made mistakes. You get 100 opportunities to kind of make up for it. It's more about how you take charge of your career, how you take charge of your life. And I took charge of my career, but taking charge of life is a completely different thing. Please think about it. Career 24 घंटे में 8 घंटे आप career में spend करोगे, but बाकी 16 घंटे आप बाकी चीजों में spend करोगे. You have to have a balance. You cannot have एक spike मार दिया and बाकी सब में kind of drop, because eventually it will drag you down. To summarize that, don't take that 4 year as your success or failure. Take it as a long-term game that you need to do. Be patient, be perseverant to achieve your goals. Second one is that, enjoy wherever you are. Spend time with as many people as possible. Enjoy life as much as possible, right? And third is that take charge of your life and career. Figure out what you need to do and how to reach there. Never stop learning.
Yeah, these days, like the kids are expected कि second year में तुमने एक startup बनाई ली कि नहीं बना लिया है.
Absolutely. That's another ladder. A lot of IITians बच्चे लोग आके पूछते हैं मेरे को startup करना है. What is the goal of that startup? कभी कभी बोलता है कि मुझे Y Combinator में it has to be picked by Y Combinator. So they'll keep searching for ideas. You always get ideas 8 out of 10 times if you are very observant and you look around within the ecosystem that you are in. That is where you get maximum ideas. Solve a problem. Don't put constraint before the problem. कभी कभी लोग बोलते हैं कि constraint is that I want to be selected by Y Combinator. Constraint is that no, I want to make 100 crores, right? All those are, then you will get constraints. See that there is a fundamental problem, go for it all out. 80 out of 100 startups or 90 out of 100 guys who have come for startup advice from me started off somewhere and ended up somewhere else. Startup में वो होता ही है. You keep churning your ideas and then only you'll come with a specific idea.
So I think one last thing, perhaps, I think what have you over the years kind of, the main nuggets of your life that, we can learn from?
The first and foremost thing is that you need to be confident about yourself. Okay. Again, India mein societal pressures, multiple things are there, right? So a lot of times I said go with the flow, right? You go with the flow because you're not sure about whether what you're doing is right or not. We need people who are confident about themselves, who can take decisions about themselves, right? And own those decisions. Never blame somebody else for the place that you are in. I cannot blame my parents saying कि वो मुझे IIT में घुसा दिया when I had no idea to do engineering in my life. Never ever do that. Second thing for me, which is important, is that, always learn. Never stop learning. Right? So that is something which has become extremely critical, be it career or personal life or anything that you do, right? And that learning has to come both inwards and outwards. Inwards mane, I kept telling you that you should listen to your body, you should listen to your signals that the body is giving, or listen to your mind, what makes you happy, what doesn't. Spend time talking to yourself, introspecting, take time out to figure out what makes you happy, what doesn't make happy. So that learning hat kabhi bhi nahi chodne ka. right? And for instance, बाकी बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस लोग पूछते हैं, अभी जेंजी आ गए हैं, उनका तरीका ही डिफरेंट है. I can see a lot of management professionals also stuck in that rut, right? Literally detesting the fact that the Gen Z guys kind of telling me that I cannot work beyond office hours,
Yes.
right? और Gen Z वाले आके informally एक mail डाल देते हैं, I'm not feeling mentally well. But you have to respect, no? I mean, we are different generations. So unless and until you learn how to work with them, again you will be outskilled. You will be like a furniture. People will think that you are an uncle who is kind of trying to police you morally, right? वो मत करो ना. Go with the flow, learn. One of the people I really admire in my life is MS Dhoni. He's not overjoyed or over sad about things. He's very composed. I feel that he is having the sanest head, right, at every time, and he's a very humble individual, right? So for me, at least, staying grounded, humble, and understanding the roots from which you came from, that's something which I still hold close to my heart. So be humble, be calm about situations. There is no point in getting really upset, angry, or anything, any point of time, right? A lot of time, this anger, upset, being this thing comes because of expectation mismatch. You have certain expectations from me, I have certain. So, usko todo na. Matlab, start figuring out fundamentally where the gap is coming and solve for it. Now I'm picking up. I read a lot, so that calms me a lot, right? And at times, I also tend to take breaks, and there are days where I do nothing. This is another myth. You have to make every second count. No,
हाँ.
बहुत सारे बच्चे लोग बोलते रहते हैं सैटरडे संडे को हम नेटवर्किंग के लिए यूज करते हैं, हम थर्ड वेव कॉफी रोस्टर पे चले जाते हैं एंड ट्राई टू सेट अप मीटिंग्स विद पीपल, एक कैलेंडर लिंक भेज देते हैं, ब्लॉक कर देते हैं. वो सब मत करो. स्पेंड टाइम विद योर नियर एंड डियर वन. हैप्पी पीपल विल मेक यू हैप्पी, एंड स्पेंड टाइम विद योरसेल्फ.
And sometimes just don't do anything.
डोंट डू एनीथिंग. दिमाग भी मत लगाओ ना. वेक अप लेजी ऑन ए डे, वॉच that good old movie that you watched 100 times, or watch some cricket test match for some time. बैठो लेटो कुछ मत करो. Don't even get up.
Great, great. So lovely. It was a great discussion.
Great.
I really enjoyed it
Thank
and
you.
learned a lot. I'm sure
Thank
our viewers are also going to enjoy
Great.
it. So thank you so much,
Thank you.
Sreejith. Really,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.